New right-wing thing is describing crimes as generically as possible to pretend like they're not crimes.
24/7 that nobody will care about. Now, by the way, it's not only a smear, but it's waged by the left. That's all they...
People really weren't that concerned with the national security and legal implications of communication security. State regime media known as Fox, the regime needs you to help cover up for them. Yup, the Trump regime was busted yesterday.
Nobody was texting war plans. That's what Pete Hegseth claimed on Fox News with a straight face. Meanwhile, the Atlantic's editor was sitting there reading those exact war plans that accidentally landed in his inbox and
sending sensitive compartmented information, war plans in Yemen, in a text message group chat.
Today we're playing a little game called They Said What, where Fox News hosts make bold claims about the Trump leak scandal that aged like milk left out in the summer sun. Senate leaders are calling it a stunning breach of military intelligence, while Fox is playing defense harder than the Cowboys in a playoff game.
And they invited into that group chat accidentally the editor-in-chief from The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Never notice how Fox News hosts sound like they're reading from the same nothing to see here script whenever Trump's in hot water? It's like watching a synchronized swimming team, but instead of water, they're swimming in excuses. Jesse Waters really outdid himself this time, comparing a leak of sensitive military information to, wait for it, accidentally texting Aunt Mary about your wild bachelor party plans.
You send inappropriate text messages to your aunt and you send it to her accidentally, you know, like when you send it to a family member.
Did you ever try to start a group text? You're adding people and you accidentally add the wrong person. All of a sudden, your Aunt Mary knows all your raunchy plans for the bachelor party.
Ever try to start a group text? You're adding people and you accidentally add the wrong person. All of a sudden, your Aunt Mary knows all your raunchy plans for the bachelor party.
Sure, Jesse, because telling your aunt about Jell-O shots is exactly like leaking classified Yemen strike details to a journalist. But the Fox Defense Squad was just getting warmed up. Sean Hannity jumped in to dismiss everything as just an accident leaked text chain that those mean old leftists are blowing out of proportion. It's not like military strike information is important or anything, right? Just some casual chit-chat about bombing another country.
Obsessed with an accidentally leaked text, a chain from Trump cabinet officials who are debating the merits of military strikes in Yemen.
Totally normal dinner conversation. And let's not forget Laura Ingraham, who brought on guests to assure viewers this was all a big nothing burger.
Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, had texted me the war plan at 11:44 a.m. The plan included precise information.
One guest actually claimed this was just people doing their jobs correctly on the text thread. Yes, correctly adding a journalist to your super secret military planning chat is definitely top-notch professionalism. Gold star for effort. What makes this whole song and dance routine even more ridiculous is what actually happened. Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic who received these texts, confirmed they contained precise information about weapons packages, targets, and timing for military strikes. That's not exactly a grocery list or weekend plans we're talking about.
Clear and present dangers to our country now want you to believe that they actually give a damn and care about national security. More feigned, phony outrage.
New right-wing thing is describing crimes as generically as possible to pretend like they're not crimes.
The most mind-boggling part? This wasn't just some random group chat. This signal thread included 18 people, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Oh, and somehow Jeffrey Goldberg too. It's like they were planning a surprise party and accidentally invited the guest of honor.
Because you're not supposed to be doing group chats with this type of information. It's the most basic thing. You don't put this on group chats. What the hell?
Surprise, we're bombing Yemen. Oops, didn't mean to tell you that. Fox hosts have tried every defense in the book. They've pulled out the classic butthurt emails in comparison, called Goldberg deceitful, labeled him a hoax artist, and insisted this is just how normal people communicate about war plans. Next, they'll be telling us that launching nuclear weapons is no different than ordering a pizza.
People really weren't that concerned with the national security and legal implications of communication security. Just know about this specific chat because they accidentally invited the reporter from The Atlantic onto the group chat.
But here's where things get serious. While Fox was busy downplaying everything, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer called the leak one of the most stunning breaches of military intelligence I have read about in a very, very long time. That's not exactly the kind of review you want for your administration's information security practices. Even more telling, Republican Senator Roger Wicker expressed genuine concern, stating, "We're very concerned about it and we'll be looking into it on a bipartisan basis." When both parties agree something's a problem, you know it's not just another day in Washington. The contradiction couldn't be more stark. On one side, we have Fox News hosts comparing sensitive military information to embarrassing text messages. On the other, we have senators from both parties treating this like the serious security breach it actually is.
24/7 that nobody will care about. Now, by the way, it's not only a smear, but it's waged by the left. That's all they.
It's worth noting that when information is so sensitive that a journalist chooses not to publish it, that should tell you something. Goldberg, who had this information land right in his lap, decided some details were too sensitive for public consumption. That's not the behavior of someone manufacturing a scandal. It's the responsible decision of someone who understands national security implications better than the people who accidentally leaked the information in the first place.
Weapons used.
I've heard I was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
And there you have it. The National Security Council itself confirmed that this signal group chat was the real deal, packed with sensitive military details.
State regime media known as Fox, the regime needs you to help cover up for them. Yup, the Trump regime was busted yesterday.
It is keeping Americans safe at home and abroad, and so now we're griping about who's on a text message and who's not. I mean, come on.
But hey, Fox News wants you to believe it's no big deal. Just a little whoopsie daisy. Senator Jack Reed didn't mince words, calling the Trump cabinet's carelessness stunning and dangerous with American lives on the line. That's not some partisan attack. That's a genuine national security concern. Remember, the Espionage Act makes it a crime to remove defense information from its proper place of custody, even through gross negligence.
Quote, this appears to be an authentic message chain, and we are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain.
As Representative Jim Himes pointed out, if some regular Joe government employee had done this, they'd lose their clearance and probably face criminal charges. But when it's Trump's team, Fox News spins harder than my washing machine trying to get ketchup stains out of white shirts. Classic Trumpy double standards.